Acclaim has recently released Legends of Wrestling for the PlayStation 2, which features some of the greatest wrestling superstars of past and present. In this game, you'll be able to play as Hulk Hogan, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, Terry Funk, and lots of the greatest wrestlers that have ever entered the square circle. Now, while in theory this is probably one of the greatest games ever, it doesn't really follow through on execution. Legends of Wrestling goes for an exaggerated look with its wrestlers because it uses cartoon-styled wrestlers that are muscle-bound, huge, and totally show off the strength of these wrestlers. King Kong Bundy is absolutely enormous, Hulk Hogan is at his prime, and everyone looks like those thick plastic action figures that we had back in the day. What's good about this look is that it makes everyone seem like they're on equal footing no matter how old they are. So even Harley Race can compete with one of the younger superstars like Rob Van Dam and put on a good show. One of the cool things about this game is that it prompts you to use your influence over the crowd to gain popularity. So you will be using chair shots, bumping into the ref, cutting up your forehead to expose blood, and do things like that that will somehow make the crowd pop for you. And so the more you taunt the crowd, the more that you pull off high spot maneuvers, the more damage you deal, the more popular you'll become, and that way you'll be able to go ahead and compete for the belts in your region. So while Legends of Wrestling is really capable in theory, in execution it's not quite as good. Gameplay's a little slow, the frame rate chugs a bit, there's just like something missing to the gameplay. It makes use of this novel idea called the intermediate start position, where when you initiate a grapple you could then move the opponent into like the head between legs or prepare them for a vertical suplex. But this just translates to really slow, sluggish gameplay, especially considering that nearly every move can be countered. So in theory, using all these great superstars and using these exaggerated graphics, Legends of Wrestling sounds like fun, but it really isn't. There's lots of issues like missing animations and things that don't really live up to the source material. Like Coco Beware comes out and he doesn't have Frankie the Parrot, Ted DiBiase doesn't do the money thing or stick dollar bills in their mouths, and Hulk Hogan's animations, while they did fulfill all the really classic ones like cupping the ear and sticking your arms out, they just seem forced and like it's a very rushed game. They don't seem to have been put a lot of effort into making everything feel genuine, and it kind of shows in execution. Now those who have played No Mercy will find that the gameplay is more similar to that style as opposed to SmackDown 3, which was very fast-paced and arcade-like. But even more so, Legends of Wrestling is like the Acclaim games of old, like ECW Anarchy Rules, and that the gameplay is very deliberate, and it just isn't a whole lot of fun. Legends of Wrestling is a great idea. Acclaim has come through with some very interesting ideas in the countering system, the intermediate start position, and bringing in all these legends. But overall, it's just not too much fun to play. It's really too bad that Acclaim couldn't put together all the great features that Legends of Wrestling could have had and made this one of the great wrestling games. There's not enough gameplay modes, no barbed wire matches, no scaffold matches, and there's some superstars that just seem to be missing off the list. But if you do want a little bit of nostalgia and want to play with Superstar Billy Graham, Hulk Hogan, Bret the Hitman Hart, Coco Beware, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and a lot of those other greats, then you will be happy checking out all the wrestlers that Legends of Wrestling has to offer. But the gameplay on itself isn't fun, and if you're looking for a really good, compelling experience, then you might just want to have this as a rental and pick up something else.
Never thought this could be me. I guess you never do, until it's happening to you. Like all the fun turns into shame.